This is AQA GCSE Chemistry. It's the trilogy paper, the second foundation trilogy paper from 2018, and this is question 3. And you can go through the whole question first, pausing as you go, and then you can review it later. So here is 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 and 3.4, 3.5, and 3.6, and there are 9 marks available in total. So let's go back to 3.1 and take a look at it. We are identifying the piece of apparatus. Now, you could argue it looks like an evaporating basin, but that is not there as an option. We know it's definitely not a funnel. We know it's not a boiling tube, and we know it's not a condenser because they are all very familiar to us. What this is, therefore, is a watch glass, something you might be familiar with, you might recognise, but you can work out a different way if you need to. 3.2, student did the test 4 times, calculated the mass of solid on apparatus X after heating, and we've got the results here. Calculate the mean mass of the solid. Now, it's really important you read the whole question here because it is telling you to not include any anomalous results in your calculation and to give your answer to 2 sig figs. Now, there is clearly an anomalous result here, and that's 0.29. It's almost double the next closest value. So we're going to discard it. We're going to disregard it. And that means our average is between 0.12, 0.14 and 0.15. So we add those together and divide by 3. And then you've got to remember whatever comes up in your calculator, you are only going to give your answer to 2 significant figures, 0.14 grams. Then we move on to 3.3. The student distilled a sample of seawater in the apparatus shown. What change of state is happening at the surface of the seawater in figure 7? And what we're seeing here is we're heating water. We know that water is going to rise up as a gas, so the process is evaporation. And what's the difference going to be between the water in the seawater and the water in the test tube? But it's only the water that evaporates, so it won't contain any salt, and you could also describe it as being pure water in the test tube. 3.5. Why does producing drinking water from seawater using distillation cost a lot of money? As is often the case in questions that talk about cost, it's related to the high amounts of energy needed. 3.6. River water is filtered, then sterilised to make drinking water. Why are these 2 processes done? Well, filtering, we know, removes solid waste. So we apply what we know to this. We're getting rid of those solid particles in the river water. But then why do we sterilise? Well, there are tiny particles that are dissolved within the water. They're not going to be caught by filtering, and sterilising will get rid of them. Predominantly, we're doing it to kill bacteria. And that takes us to the end of question 3.